Boom, we are live. Welcome to 2.5 Oyajis. Back as always with the never quite bored anyone all the way to death, but has hospitalized several people, myself. And of course,
Hey, yeah, we've had complaints about you being too boring, Hiko, so I'm going to ask you to try to not be so boring today.
well, I work pretty hard at my boringness. If there were complaints that I wasn't boring enough, I mean, I can always lift it up. I mean, we're lucky we have talk about Taiwanese politics today, so I am ready to go over the top if it's.
I find you refreshing and intelligent. I don't know. No, I don't
Well, I'll try to correct that by being more boring. Is that? Oh, they wanted me to be less boring or more boring?
Little less boring. The request was
less boring.
Yeah, and then I said the rule was. I said, well, the rules on my channel are do not criticize the guests that are on my channel.
Yeah, except for when we get Hitler on.
And then they accused me of having no low self-esteem or something, or defending you. But I said, it's kind of silly for everyone to complain. They either like us or they don't. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna fire you over one.
Yeah. Look, I respect the opinion of the person who thought that, and I hope that they respect my opinion that they should just fuck themselves.
I remember the name. His name was something like Real Time. No.
Real Time. Okay.
Real something. I forgot.
If Real Time shows up in the comments, I am just going to become as boring as possible, and hopefully they will suffer for it.
Something real, but. Anyway, we don't really have a topic, but I saw that you were tweeting a lot about Taiwan, which I don't know much about, except that I know that U.S. has kind of been, what do I say, for many years. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm your average. Yeah. I'm your average idiot. So let me see. From what I understand,
let me set this up a little bit. So what I love about this, what I love about what's happening today, is that I have been talking about Taiwan for years, trying to find someone who will listen to me talking about it, because I can talk and talk and talk and talk passionately about Taiwan. It's a fascinating problem. And the problem is no one gives a shit, ever. And so I wake up and this amazing thing has happened. All of a sudden, everyone in America who hates Donald Trump is suddenly a Taiwan expert. And, it's amazing, except, yeah, it's kind of funny. People are kind of revealing that, he fucked up. He talked to Taiwan. How could they do that? What do you know? North Korea might do it next. Or, I'm seeing all these sort of things which are very awkward for me to see. And so, and people are kind of showing the different degrees of lack of knowledge that I think people have. I mean, no one knows about Taiwan. It's totally predictable that Trump probably had no idea, that he was causing a problem by picking up that call. So, please give me your... as a person waking up who hates Trump, who wants to say that idiot, he didn't even know.
I don't really have an opinion about what Trump's doing, but I think it's interesting.
Here, that's me.
America's. This is the comment, by the way. Can you see this?
Can you get someone less boring than this guy? Sure, it's your channel. We just happen to watch it. It wasn't an insult. If one gets insulted for being called boring, it shows love. So that's me. That's saying if I'm insulted, and I did tell him to fuck himself, and it's because I have, shit. I'm bold. Look at me. Of course, I have low self-esteem. It's just that natural.
But people actually don't understand that joke. People actually probably think when you say that, some people probably think you actually do have low self-esteem because they don't.
Yeah, and at some level, I probably do. But I was lucky enough to be born half Australian, which means that half of me just doesn't give a shit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a funny comment, but I didn't really understand his defense.
So anyway, come back. Tell me about Taiwan.
I've always forget about Trump for a second, but I always thought it was strange that America sells the Taiwanese lots of military equipment, fighter planes and such, but at the same time, because to be differential to China, they refuse to acknowledge that Taiwan is a country. When, for all practical purposes, they treat Taiwan like a country.
You know that's exactly what Donald Trump tweeted today?
Oh, really?
You are actually repeating almost the entire content of a Donald Trump tweet today.
Okay, well, I've always thought that was strange that America.
Yeah, apparently he thinks the same thing. He sits on Twitter.
So he fit a lot in Twitter then. I always thought we should have more balls when it comes to Taiwan, but at the same time, I mean, do we really want to start a war over a country? Oh, the other thing is that when I looked at Taiwan, I used to think, oh, Taiwan should be independent. And then I looked at Taiwan. Apparently, there's a big movement inside of Taiwan to reunite with China.
It's not really a big movement. There's a debate, and it's a fairly evenly split debate within the country whether it should be trying to move closer towards China or become more independent.
Split, that's significant, right?
Of course.
It is like a minority. I mean,
yeah.
Even if it is, I mean,
by the way, you can take the screen cap off. It's just showing constantly that I'm boring. Thanks. I have low self-esteem, so I can't let you leave that up there for too long.
How do I get back to this? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can turn this on.
It is true. There is a significant the two-party system in Taiwan, the equivalent of the GOP that you might say, the Kuomintang, the Nationalist Party, they are in favor of eventually reunifying with China, and they are about, it's about a 50-50 split in the electorate.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I mean they're currently not the government, but yeah.
So how I haven't been following the Trump debate though. What's the big criticism of Trump?
Well, the president of Taiwan, which is the world's 19th biggest economy, has 23 million people, a very Israel type, big military full of US, F-16s and hardware defending it from Chinese invasion. Japan friendly, America friendly. They make our iPhones. They're objectively a not insignificant country.
That's what iPhones.
Well, Foxconn, Taiwanese company. They make them in Chinese factories, but they're a Taiwanese company.
Okay.
The president, the democratically elected president of Taiwan, called up Donald Trump today on a courtesy call to congratulate him on his win of the election. Mm-hmm. And he accepted the call and said, "Thank you, President of Taiwan, for your call, and love Taiwan. You guys are awesome," and hung up. And immediately the New York Times and a number of major newspapers said, "Oh my God, Trump just went and disturbed 40 years of protocol where no U.S. president has ever acknowledged or talked to a Taiwanese president before or taken any action to recognize the Taiwanese government since 1979. And this is just a major serious breach of protocol that's going to have serious consequences for the U.S. and is going to deeply upset China." And China issued a statement today saying, "We are deeply upset." And, and you have a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, see, I read the New York Times, man, Trump, he's just gone and really just upset all of Asia because he doesn't understand Taiwan, what an idiot." And here we are.
But I'm reading something on Reuters that says that China is actually blaming Taiwan for this.
Yeah, well, it was the Taiwanese president who called him up. The New York Times and everyone who I'm arguing or I'm debating with about it is critical of him for picking it up without having Congress approve on it first, because
I bet you he didn't even know that it was a no-no.
No. Well, I mean, the thing is, he's not even president yet, right? He's living in his house in New York, and he's receiving a personal call from all these different world leaders. And by all accounts, these are hilarious phone calls that he's having. The one with the president of Pakistan was like,
he's going to help Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah, he loves Pakistan. Some of the smartest people he knows are from Pakistan. Wonderful people, great people. They actually verbatim took down the call, and it's just perfect. It was like a parody. And I imagine he did exactly the same speech with the Taiwanese president. So to China, I mean, China's pissed off with Taiwan, and I guess China doesn't quite want to threaten America yet. But, the people who hate Trump, which is about 55% of America, from what I understand from the election result.
Well, not hate, but...
didn't vote for him. Voted for Hillary Clinton or whatever. A lot of people are kind of jumping on, this is a great opportunistic screw up by Trump, so let's all jump on it and say what an idiot he is for not knowing about Taiwan, when, of course, everyone knows about Taiwan. And the funny thing about that is, of course, you're reading it, you're saying, oh my God, these people really don't know much about it. But yeah, I mean, for my money, it's absolutely, I mean, you look at the countries, I mean, Obama visited Cuba earlier this year, right? He actually went to Cuba. He met Raul Castro, You know,
Did he meet Fidel Castro? Only Raul.
I don't know if he met Fidel. I think he didn't, but he met Raul. I mean, you know, Fidel's retired now anyway. I mean, Raul's the president now, I think, or whatever they call him. But, you know, I mean, we've recognized like countries like East Timor and South Sudan. South Sudan has already been declared a genocide zone, like as of this week. I mean, you know, within a year of being recognized as an independent country. So all of these countries that shouldn't be recognized as countries that are being recognized as countries. And here you have a country that's been completely independent and stable and sovereign for 70 years, you know, huge democracy, 19th biggest economy, and we have to pretend that it doesn't exist for this, what I like to think of as an emperor's new clothes situation.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You know, China basically, we all have to not upset China by telling it that it's kind of naked with regards to its pretense that it has sovereignty over Taiwan. And, you know, and people are saying that, well, Trump screwed up and kind of recognized Taiwan a little bit. And the current president of Taiwan wants more recognition for Taiwanese independence. That's why she called him. That's why China's pissed off with her. But Taiwan's objectively, it's never been under the control of the PRC. Never in its whole history. It's been, you know, at different times briefly under mainland Chinese control. But why I think the 40-year policy the US has on Taiwan is disgraceful. I mean, I don't think Trump did anything on purpose. But I think he accidentally did the right thing.
And people are criticizing him because he's
Trump. He's Trump.
Because he's going against 40 years of protocol.
Well, that's the excuse that they're saying. They're saying that, oh, this is going to upset China, which of course is going to upset China. Again, I don't see how that, you know, I mean, we mustn't ever upset China, of course.
I saw something from the news the other day saying China said, good, it looked like a sarcastic headline, like China says, good luck trying to get your jobs back.
Really?
It looked sarcastic to me.
I bet, was that on Facebook?
No. I don't, you know, here, I was talking to a good friend who I won't mention because it's my embarrassment. I go to news.google.jp or .com, and I go to yahoo.com, and I look for news. That's how I find it. But apparently, quite a few people go to their Facebook first and look for news, and then if they're interested, they'll follow it up by looking around. But I kind of think that's the wrong way to go around it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to Facebook first for pretty much anything unless I was looking for like videos of dogs surfing. I mean, it depends on the kind of people that you follow.
I like to see what other people are posting, like funny stuff, but I wouldn't look for news.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting when you see sometimes people are posting discussions like, oh, I can't, and there's a lot of people posting, I can't believe what Trump just did. And I guiltily admit having jumped in on some of those conversations and posted my own thoughts on it. But you know, yeah, I think it's okay to comment on news that's happening somewhere, but I wouldn't go there as a first source of news, like ever.
Yeah, me neither.
What I do go to Twitter. Twitter is excellent. But the thing about Twitter is I follow a whole bunch of journalists and a whole bunch of people who I respect that are very good at digging up good, reliable sources of information, you know, and going off that.
I see your thumbnail. You got one of these too.
Yes. Yeah. Boom. I got the clapper.
You were jealous last week. Now you're not.
I was jealous. I told YouTube that they had to give me a clapper, or I was going to leave YouTube for once and for all. I'm tired of their bullshit. I'm tired of the subscriber stuff. Right. I am leaving. I don't care. I can't take this abuse anymore. And they gave me the clapper.
Eating with the fishes? What is that about? Oh, you did the same thing I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean,
was really late with mine. I thought it was interesting. I knew I was late, but I figured, what the hell? I'll still talk about it. Where's the next?
Russell Smith, Facebook is full of fake news, but what I find disturbing, and I've talked about finding disturbing for years, is also how much fake news. I mean, at the moment, CNN and NBC and, you know, MSNBC, all those guys are saying, see, don't get your news on Facebook. Come to the real news places. But the real news places all went to hell years ago. I mean, you know, CNN is the last place. They post bullshit almost as badly as my Facebook feed, which is why I don't follow them as news sources anymore. So I don't know. This is the problem. I actually find Twitter is awesome because you can actually curate reliable sources on there.
You think CNN is that bad?
Yes. Without hesitation. I mean, when it comes to Japan, I think they are as bad in fact, I think they are worse. There are many excellent blogs on Japan news that are way above the level of CNN on Japan. I mean, CNN, when they cover Japan, it's always Japan is weird, or Japanese have too much sex, or not enough sex, or sex with video games, or sex with, I mean, they're the absolute worst. They're like a tabloid on Japan. I can't watch CNN.
I will say that I don't ever look at CNN. When it comes to Japan, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I've never, but now that you mention it, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't rely on CNN for Japanese anyways.
But I can't rely on them for anything either. I find I do watch occasionally. It's like McDonald's. I remind myself I don't want to eat that. It's shitty and horrible, and it'll make you feel awful afterwards. But then you forget after a few months. You think, you know what? I used to like Big Macs. I'll just have a Big Mac, and then you go have one, and then, oh yeah, this is why I stopped eating them. And CNN is like that. Every few months I check in.
For just seeing what's happening around, even if their take on it is misconstrued or just wrong, at least you know who's meeting who and who's going somewhere.
Well, I check in on BBC, and BBC itself is also in decline. But it's like going around a bunch of bars, and this bar is kind of a lot shittier than it used to be. But that one is like, whoa, it's like you go in and you kind of think, well, what happened to this place? That's what CNN is like for me. I just go in there and think, oh, let me check myself right out again. I can't watch it anymore.
I've got, on your iPhone, you can, whatever you watch, it'll just, when you hit the home button, it'll start repeating the feed of that kind of stuff that you like. So I just get news. I just get news reports or whatever. Something I see a lot on YouTube is something called social something.
Yeah.
It repeats like just small clips of CNN.
Yeah, oh man, I would. That would be, if I was locked up in Guantanamo and they wanted to get information out of me, they would make me watch that, and I would give the information. I wouldn't even.
I go out of my way to see BBC, but I don't really see that on YouTube. It's not really true. It's not really streamed because I can just stream it to my television quickly, so it's just convenient.
Yeah.
And of course, I will watch the comedy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and so that's another one that I posted that everyone's been posting this week is until 3 days ago, I never heard of Tommy Lahren.
Oh yeah, no, me neither. I heard about her about a month ago because she was on the Daily Show. They did a special on her because she reaches 70 million people with her videos.
Yeah.
She's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, 24 years old.
She reaches more people with her videos than apparently all the CNN and all the other cable networks combined.
Right. Well, that's right.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is America today. I mean, she represents the voice that is now the representative, elected in terms of presidency, Congress, Senate, and soon to be the Supreme Court. And she is the most watched commentator that articulates the views of that side, and they run America now. I hadn't even heard of her two days ago. I saw the Trevor Noah thing. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched half of it, but I had already seen a special on her like a month ago that Trevor Noah did. Okay. Saying he's in love with her, but it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. I saw half of it today, and then I got cut off for some reason. But yeah, it looked pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing: Felix is saying she's an idiot, and so is Trevor. But they're both doing quite well. That is true. Maybe idiots, but they're resonating with a lot of other idiots. Yeah, so, that is a skill. It is a skill. I mean, they're doing well. That's right, and they are relevant. I mean, even if they are idiots, that is what America is. I mean, so it's your president in your media, but yes, it affects the rest of us. So what else has been drama this week? There was, and Felix first pinged this to me, this thing about the subs disappearing drama thing. Enrest has been bitching about subs for months and months, and I always thought, oh, you're such a drama queen, and this is not really happening. And then I noticed that my channel was not growing at all. It's 112,700 forever. Literally for 6 months, but I didn't care. I'm doing my videos, because I never really cared about the sub count anyway. But I noticed it wasn't really growing, and then I looked one day to see how many subs I've been getting, and I've been getting quite a few. But for some reason, I'm also losing more than I'm gaining. Yeah. And I noticed the more videos I put out, So then finally, Unrested sends me a video saying someone uncovered a glitch.
Yeah.
And it's this black guy with a British accent, very, very well spoken. But he acts like he's a civil rights activist. Who's, a lot of YouTubers are scared about speaking about this, but I'm going to come out and say it.
Is this Trevor Noah?
No, it wasn't Trevor Noah.
Oh, okay. He's got a nice accent. A South African accent, but it sounds English to people who don't know.
Right. No, it's some British guy. But
okay.
Anyway, he thought he was being some kind of hero or something. But
he found it.
But he did show how he was actually losing subs every time he uploaded a video. And then a few other people started doing it. And then PewDiePie came out like 2 days ago. And put out a video saying that he lost 600,000, and he showed his Social Blade number. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna look at my thing closely, and I believed Unrested. I mean, I don't think he's a drama queen at all anymore about that, but I still don't think that the subscriber is important.
Yeah, I love how you tagged on the about that.
No, I think people are very dramatic about a lot of things, and I'm just too tired to be dramatic right now.
I'm kind of like that myself, actually. Although I have also come around. So Phoenix asked me the other day. He said, "Watch this." Tell me. In fact, he didn't even say "watch this." He just sent me a link, which frankly, I thought he'd been hacked or something. And I watched like the first 2 minutes, and it was some guy whining about YouTube trying to screw us out of subscribers again. And I thought, man, this is just like every rant against YouTube I've ever seen. And I kind of, skipped over it. And
I'm not talking about KSI, by the way.
Yeah.
These things. It's not KSI. It's some other guy. It's some guy who he was wearing a yellow hat. But anyway, it's true. And I looked at my subs, and starting June 1st, I started becoming a negative.
Yeah.
I was actually losing subs, even though I was gaining at the same time. So it would show like I gained 4,000 subs, and I also lost 4,020 subs.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, that
about a month ago, and they said, no, it's just normal cleaning out the files, but it can't be. They're wrong. And then someone emailed YouTube, maybe it was Mully, and he told me that they've got their top, oh no, it was, who it was? Softy Papa.
Yeah. Softy
Papa emailed them, and they said that we've got our top people on it. We're working on this right now. So it is true, and they're trying to deal with it.
And the last I heard is that YouTube hasn't been able to confirm the glitch itself yet, although I've seen a lot of people confirm the same thing is happening to a lot of people.
Well, they confirmed it to Softy Papa. They said we're aware of the problem, and we have our top guys on it. So.
But what I mean is that they haven't been able to actually recreate and fix the glitch itself. They're aware of the issue, and they're trying to figure out what it is, but they haven't actually figured out what the actual problem is that's causing it yet. Hence, it's not fixed. But yeah. I mean, for me,
more comments about Rachel's nose again this week. Listen, nobody cares about Rachel's nose, right?
Who's talking about that? Who gives a shit?
The last week, someone else wanted me to comment about the nose. Who cares about her nose?
Yeah.
I mean, Hiko gets plastic surgery, and I'm not going to comment on it. It's fine. Who cares? Who gives a shit? That's not what you are. You're not your nose. Okay? You are not your nose. So drop it. Who cares? Nobody cares.
Just on the other something, one thing that I will say is that YouTube does do a couple of things. I know I've been around for a long time, and I know that they do clean out old channels. And they're always updating their algorithms to detect people who are trying to game YouTube. So, for example, if people have, bought a lot of subscriptions, or people have, done things that they should not have done with their, to inflate their subscriber counts, particularly if their views and their subs are really out of whack. This is when they talk about cleaning out, there is actually a mechanism there, and there's a lot of legitimate cleaning out. And my subs have been around 35,000.
Doing with my channel, but I don't think 4,000. I don't think they've lost 4,000 for that reason.
Well, and I didn't overreact when I saw the same thing happening on my channel, and it's just because I just assumed, hey, look, I've got 35,000, but yeah, I'm not growing at a rapid rate. And sure, lots of old channels, it makes kind of sense. So I didn't really raise the alarm flags on it. But at the same time, if this is cleaning up people who are cheating or trying to make their channels look bigger than they are by, buying subscribers and stuff like that, then that's a good thing, actually. If those channels are getting cleaned out, they deserve it. Frankly, or getting knocked down in terms of service or whatever. But yeah, in terms of for house cleaning, that's fine, and that happens. But yeah, if there is a glitch that's actually causing legitimate live channels to be unsubscribed from channels, which I hear is being confirmed now, that's something which I hope gets fixed really fast.
I think Cordy kept just wanted to use that expression. Me thinks he doth protest too much.
This is about the nose.
He thinks you actually care about the something.
No, I don't.
No. I think at our size, the amount is happening to me is so minor. I mean, yeah, it's a little. I guess it doesn't change anything. I'm not going to stop making videos because every time I upload one, I lose 100 subs. I don't care.
No, I mean honestly, I'm
more interested in the fact that I was wrong. Oh, so Unrested was right. I mean, okay.
Yes, that's right, and I felt a bit guilty to Phoenix as well that I immediately dismissed it as another whiner, when it's clearly it's not another whiner. It's more significant than that. But there again, if you're really into YouTube, frankly, the subscribers don't. They used to be everything, but now it's really about views, engagement, all that sort of stuff. I usually hardly even remember to check in with what my subscriber count is.
So they're going on about
the nose.
So Rachel goes on about body positivity and shit, and then goes on and gets her face fucked up even more to hide some insecurities.
Who says this?
Unless you want women to grow their leg hairs out, and you want people to be natural, we should never cut our hair or wear glasses, or get tans or anything. Then you can't really talk about that shit. So.
Yeah, who gives a shit about that, honestly? It's people.
Someone wants to wear earrings or
wants to get a tattoo. People want to grow their hair or shave their hair or lose their hair. In fact, let's not get into bullying people about hair and stuff like that because, again, that's one of my triggers.
Being petty. You think that's petty, then you're being petty. Ain't about being natural, dude. No, no one's natural. We're not natural. We're clothes on. You want natural? You want natural? You don't want natural, believe me. You want Hiko and I sitting here. Hiko, you would
do not.
Your eyes would pop out all the hair this guy would show you. Come on. No.
Yeah. In fact, the AI algorithm that deletes and blocks channels that broadcast inappropriate comment just tricked on there at the moment. We're now being closely watched.
We have different. We have different opinions about what is more moral and what's ethical. When someone rips someone off or appears to be ripping someone off, I think that's wrong. If someone wants to fuck with their face and get a facelift or a nose job, and I don't care. It's up to them. They're not dealing with you. They're not harming you. Right? If someone is taking your money and they're not, that's a different matter. When someone's hurting other people, that's a different matter. Someone doing plastic surgery does not hurt you at all. If you don't want to watch her, don't watch her. Don't be silly. You're petty.
I don't even know the story behind that, actually, but I don't really care to go to it.
These idiots keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
If it were Canada, I wouldn't I wouldn't bring it up.
If it were Canada, you would bring it up. Believe me, if it was Canada, there was nothing I wouldn't pick up even less than the subject of Canada getting plastic surgery. I couldn't think of a topic I'd want to pick up. I would want to touch with a longer barge pole.
And Canada, I only talked about her because she was bullying other people. She was hurting other people. So anyway, who cares?
Yeah.
That guy was also being insulting. The guy that moved to China, Barry. That guy was being insulting.
The guy killed Prince.
Bullied him for having an opinion? No, I criticized him for being an idiot, and then complaining about it and begging for money.
Well, that was perfect, right?
Reaching out and asking people to interact with him by giving him money. Okay, that is different from.
Hey, well, it beats Morse code.
Anyway, that's silly. Okay, so I've had enough of El Hal. I disagree with you. I don't care.
What else we got?
So
I have to try to not be boring. So help me out here. What else is going on?
You're wearing the same shirt as last week. You're really proud of that 100,000 K. Wait a minute. You have 100,000. How can you have that T-shirt?
Shh. Quiet.
This is fraud.
Yeah, no, actually, no. It's. I tell you, it's the algorithm, man. I had 100,000 subs, and it took 70,000 of them away. Damn you, YouTube! I'm leaving.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
How did I even get the shirt? I think they had a spare, and I said, "I'll take it." Yeah.
What do you think about the guy? What's his name? The guy who just left YouTube. He's doing the daily vlog. He's a great video maker. Well, I only watch a few of his videos, but they're really, really good.
This is the guy who got. This is the guy who got bought out by CNN.
No. Oh, I don't know who that. No, the guy who makes great daily vlogs from New York City. He's got a kid, and he just Casey Newton, Casey Nesty. I forgot. What's his name? Anyone? You know, Casey. What's the fuck's? Can't remember that. Stop the blog. I'm stopping the blog.
Yeah.
Anyway, you don't follow him at all.
No.
Oh well, he's a really interesting blogger, but he Casey Neistat. That's his name.
So he's the one who got bought by CNN.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. They paid him like $5 million to set up a video app.
Oh, the boomy thing he made. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I watched his last video, and I was really interested in the fact that his reasoning, at least that they gave in the video, was that he thought it had become too easy, and he was not being challenged creatively. And I always think that when I make videos, I wish I had more time to creatively challenge myself to do something interesting. And I take tons of video that I just don't have time to put up there. You know? I end up just doing a uncut piece of shit, video.
But there again, the problem is that if you put all that artistic effort in, it would take you 3 months to make each video, and you would end up uploading it onto Vimeo, and only 10 people would watch it.
But he does it daily.
Yeah, well, but shitty videos, right? The artistic videos are hard to do.
No. His daily videos are pretty artistic, even the daily videos.
Okay, well, that's cool.
They're good. They're really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so not much to talk about, but I thought I respect the guy for letting it go, because that's a steady stream of income.
Phoenix is saying he got $25 million from CNN.
No, it's from a site that he sold. He sold an app. Maybe he sold it to CNN. I don't know. Yeah,
something like that. Or he's helping CNN to set up a video app, but it's based on some IP that he has. Yeah.
Okay. Well. But no. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Let something go like that.
Yeah.
I think few people can do that. I saw PewDiePie's video complaining about about his 600,000 subs that he lost, and I didn't find it creative or interesting at all.
I think you're right. I mean,
videos, but I don't get the attraction. I mean, he's fine, but I don't get how he's number one.
Yeah.
Is it a white thing? I don't know. Did you hear about the new hara?
Oh, the noodle harassment that is slurping obnoxiously loudly.
Right.
Which is hilarious. Good point. This is a warning. This is a cautionary tale for all those foreigners who come to Japan and think, now I'm in Japan, I can just be obnoxiously loud with noodles. I heard about the term, and I just thought, give me a break, and I passed. I didn't get the details. What are the details?
Well, apparently all over Japan, we don't know exactly where, but some foreigners have heard Japanese slurping, and they think it's disgusting, and they've written things on Twitter like it sounds like a toilet, they sound like pigs. And the Japanese, of course, are how they're sensitive to international criticism. And
not as bad as yeah.
So the foreigners think that they're being harassed by Japanese slurping. So they don't feel comfortable going to a restaurant because they are harassed by Japanese slurping. So they're complaining about it, and the Japanese in turn are complaining about being complained about because they don't understand that that's the way. Foreigners don't understand that this is the way you eat noodles, and it's more delicious. Right? And I've gotten ridiculous comments on my video about it. One claiming that white men don't have enough taste buds on their tongue, so they can't appreciate the way noodles taste. Which I looked up, and actually, it's apparently true that there's something called a super taster. The kind of person who's a super taster, they're usually Asian and they're usually women, and they're better at tasting. I guess the super taster has a more sensitive tongue. It
just goes to show they're just better at a lot of things.
And white men like yourself, there's the fewest number. Now there's super tasters do exist in your category, but they're much fewer. The number is much less.
Yeah,
fewer of you. So it's possible you could be a super taster, but
I would imagine, as someone of English heritage, from my experience of traveling through the countryside in the UK and eating various types of food that we would come across, being a super taster in the UK would probably be a distinct disadvantage.
Oh, because the food is so bad?
It's really bad. It's really bad. Seriously, yes. Thank you for immigrating, ancestors.
Can you tell this is a YouTube hoodie?
No, that's pretty cool.
Oh, did you get one of these?
Is that American swag? Where do you get that?
From YouTube. They sent it to me for being an ambassador.
No way.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll give you one.
All they gave me was a clapper.
I'll give you one. I got an extra.
Sweet. I'll take it.
Oh, man. Oh, no, they gave it to Tomoko. Sorry.
See, you're just mercilessly toying with me now.
Sorry, man. But I thought I had two, but I remember the other one was for Tomoko.
So I think I can get one. I think I'm going to go and yeah. Anything you've got.
Here you go. So please grab something for me. Steal a little bit.
Yeah. Did you notice the cape? I got a cape.
Like you didn't see mine over there?
Yeah, I see yours.
I got a cape too.
Yeah. So this was actually, I was so angry about the subs, and they gave me the clapper and the cape, and everything's good again. So everybody, I say, don't listen to the haters on YouTube. Stay subscribed to YouTube because they are awesome. Mm-hmm. Because they gave me this stuff.
Yes, but we're sellouts.
That's right.
Well, the hero program.
Hell,
here's something I wanted to talk about. This. You have a chance to see awesome. Oh, yes, I have some of those downstairs.
You have multiple ones.
It actually tastes pretty good.
I've been saving this one.
Did you see Aussie? What's his name? Aussie Awesome.
Aussie Awesome. Aussie 78. Yes.
Aussie 78. Yeah, his video about basically complaining about not being able to grow his channel.
Maybe he's got that bug.
It could be. Maybe he doesn't. He doesn't even realize it. Did you see the video? No?
He does try very hard. He makes excellent videos, and I've seen the video there. I think I clicked on it, but I haven't watched it all the way through. But I know the content of it. Okay. Yeah, I feel bad for him. You know, he's a good video maker.
I asked him to be on the show so we can talk about that. He says he has no video. He has no internet access till January.
I wonder if that might be the cause of his YouTube trouble. I mean, I'm not saying an internet connection is mandatory for YouTube, but it's pretty high on the list of basic ingredients.
You know what? I will tell you this. My YouTube is suffering because my effing building, for some reason, they changed the internet connection I made. They changed it to, it's a long story, but anyway, my fast internet connection at school is gone. I've got super slow internet connection now, and it's interfering with my upload schedule. Okay. Look at this. El Hall is talking about Rachel and her nose again. Jesus, can't you let that go? It's a dead horse. Fucking leave it alone, El Hall. What a fucking life. Jesus, who gives a shit? God damn it. God. Oh my God. The outrage. It's going to change nothing. Nothing you say is going to change. Anyway.
I've never even noticed this name before, actually, El Hall.
I don't know either.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to go into blocking, but seriously, leave it alone. We don't want to hear it.
Who's my provider? I don't know. It's a building provider. So they changed the whole building. I live in a huge, but my school is in a huge building, and I usually upload a lot from that building. I used to upload from my classroom quite a bit, but now forget about it. You know, it's impossible now. Yeah, Miss Haneke, thanks for the reminder about Miss Haneke. I would like to get her on. Her channel is actually really big. She's growing really fast. I've got to get in touch. I've had a crazy week. She was the one she came from England, was that right? I think that's right, yes. And she was a teenager like a few years ago, and now she's big. Oh, that's great. We'll get to her. Yeah. But yeah, I remember her, yeah. I did a shout out for her like years and years ago. Yeah. Wow. Wow, very good views. 80,000. Wow. And it's a channel that's growing. You know. I don't think she has that sub problem that we have. So the thing is, if you're a man and you're on YouTube, of course you're going to have a little more trouble growing your channel. Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. Who are the top video bloggers or video makers in the world? Americans. Well, men. Men. That or you know that guy. I can't remember anybody's name, but they're all pretty much men. Yeah. I think those are excuses that we use. Yeah. If your video is good, if your video quality is good, you're going to grow. Well, that's it. You know, I mean, yeah. There's no reason for anyone to get discouraged, and you know, it is something that you hear people. When people go through their dark periods, right, where they say, you know, I've been trying so hard and I make better videos than a lot of people, but then some good-looking girl goes on and gets more views. Why do you even give a shit about that? I mean, I do understand that is a thing that is bothering you, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, YouTube is a you make good content if you do all the, you know, you follow all the practices, you set your videos up. I mean, you know, you can see what the top channels are. Miss Hanaka says, Victor, it's thanks to your shout out when I was 13 that my channel started growing. I think it was her and also Michaela shouted it out too. She did really well, but she makes good videos. And the other, I mean, not to ignore actually go on your comment to expand on that. Yes, I don't think people are torn between should I watch this girl or should I watch Victor? It's not really competition. It's a different market. They might say, should I watch Hiko or should I watch Flipboard? They might do that.
Well, they'll think, well, I've got to go to sleep, so I'll go Hiko. No. If they've got to put themselves to sleep, if they're looking for some sort of relaxation content, then that would also influence that decision. For a lot of people, I get that.
So we're not really competing with the women. We're competing with the other men.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am gender blind, as they say. Who cares? I mean, if the content's good. I am guilty of it. I got to say as well, I've so few precious hours. I don't know how you manage to keep up with YouTube, because you've got a young kid there, and for me, I only get a couple of hours, and I like to read and do lots of stuff.
He started throwing his first tantrums today. Like, he almost threw himself out of my arms, and he almost like impaled himself. Well, not impaled, but he almost like threw himself onto the floor.
Nice.
Because I wanted to take him away from his toys.
Yeah.
Someone sent us toys today, and he was like, he wanted to keep playing with them. And I tried to take him home to put him to bed, and he's like, "No, I want to play with my toys." He's like thrashing in my arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's insane. And
That's good.
He can't sleep late with a kid.
Yeah.
Is your kid sleeping late? No, he wakes up really early.
No, he sleeps totally normal. He goes to sleep before us. We wake him up.
No, in the morning.
In the morning, we have to wake him up.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
He skipped. He went straight from being 3 years old to just being a teenager. Seriously, we can't get him out of bed.
I have to be so careful in the morning, because if he wakes up, then I can't do anything. I have to feed him and dress it. I got to keep my eyes on him, and he just discovered where the knives are in the house. We have a special drawer for knives, and my wife was like apparently hiding it to make sure he wouldn't ever find it. And I opened it in front of me. No, look at that!
You have to get some drawer stoppers. You can get those, which will stop kids from being able to open them. Ones with the clips that you have to push. You know about those? I'll tell you about those later.
This is a push drawer. Like it just looks like flat, and you push it and it opens up.
Okay, well that's clever. You can still get these things. I'll tell you about them later, but you can get.
All right. And what's the best way to start a channel? That's hard. Starting, I don't know what advice I would give. You and I started a long time ago, so we had that advantage. But
it's so different. Yeah. I mean, I've had this discussion the other day. I would say start by watching channels that are like what you want to do for some ideas, and figure out yourself what works and what doesn't work when other people make videos, and what sort of, to get a clear idea of what sort of videos you want to make and what sort of viewers you want to make them for. I would say, what I'm noticing is that people who are starting nowadays, they're starting with really high quality off the mark. And when I ask them, how did you know how to do all this stuff? They'll say, oh, I just saw what these other people were doing and just sort of followed.
They figured it out. It's impressive.
They figured it out, but there's a lot of information there, how to use, editing tools and how to use the cameras are all better.
If you look on YouTube, you can find a lot of tutorials of how to edit this or that. So yeah, it's all out there.
Anything, all the information's out there. So, I think people really, it just takes a little bit of motivation. It doesn't even take very much, actually. It's all there for you.
The biggest problem for me is just time.
Yeah, well, that's right. So how do you keep watching YouTube channels, like not having so much time?
Oh, I don't watch anybody.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to...
You know what? I watch people if they send me the video. And when people send me a video, I watch that. And I'm happy to watch that because I feel, oh, someone cares about my opinion, so they want me to watch this video. But generally speaking, I just don't have time.
I really want, what I wanted for years and years is the ability...
by that answer. I'm not proud, by the way.
No, well, I'm the same. But what I wanted for years and years is something that would make your YouTube subscriptions like TV channels. So I could just come home, press a button, I could have my foreign comedy channel, my Japan vlogs channel, my sort of select must-watch channels or whatever, and just watch like a TV show, just streaming, one after another, like in an automated playlist, from the newest video, back. Just so I could come and catch up all my news, all the CNN news stops if I had those subscribed, then just get all the latest CNN updates or NHK updates or, your latest videos or whatever. And I could just have that on when I walk around rather than having to come back to the computer and click every time or set up a whole playlist or something like that. I really, I just thought that's something which has been missing for so long. I should make that.
Too. Yeah.
Sorry?
I would love that too if we had that option. But
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wonder how hard that would be to develop. That'd be something.
To be honest, though, when it comes to J vloggers, I mean, we basically know this. We have the same information. So
Yeah.
occasionally you'll watch someone else who has a slightly different opinion about something in Japan that you don't know about. But generally speaking, why would we be interested in ourselves? Foreigners are interested in our videos, but we ourselves.
Well, but I think back when I was better at keeping up with what people are posting. People do a lot of good stuff, and when I do look, which is less often now, I discover people are actually doing, well, one, being aware of what people are doing. It's like, oh, you should go check out this person. They're doing a really interesting thing.
But if they're doing it about Japan, it's generally not that interesting for me right now.
Well, that's true, and that's where I would probably make channels. I'd have like the, all J vloggers. I'd probably have some select people within that who make, what I think is particularly interesting stuff.
There's some guys who are amazing, but generally speaking, it's basically the same thing we're doing. So why look?
That's kind of the other point. I wish it was like TV, where I could get my DVR remote and sure, travel vid looks nice, but I'm going to skip that. What else? Okay, this looks good. You know what I mean? Like, I wish you could do it like this, which you should be able to do. It's all sort of converging. I really want to do that. So I want some way to make it really easy for a really lazy person to keep up better with subscriptions.
I got a good question for both of us from Claude C. And
Yeah.
It almost looks like an insult, but I don't think it is. And I did get insulted the other day. I did a video about my opinion regarding the Trump victory,
Yeah.
right, and my disappointment, and I was just basically honest, like, well, I'm really surprised, blah blah. Anyway, I had one person who claimed I had to get off my YouTube. YouTube has gone to my head because people care. I think. And this question today is, which is not really the case at all. YouTube has not gone to my head at all. I don't think I'm at all any kind of celebrity at all. I just enjoy making YouTube videos. So
Sure.
the question is, when you started, why did you think anyone would care about your opinion? So
I can answer that
question. I think a lot of people do think that you have to be some kind of arrogant person, and even Japanese. When people say, why do you foreigners feel so compelled to write their opinion even in a comment? Like, Japanese don't generally care.
They don't do that. Yeah.
They don't do that. So what about you? Have you ever had that not doubt, but that question? Why should I say anything? Why would anyone care?
No, I've never had that. I've always thought if I make videos that are about stuff that I like, I've always thought the purpose of it is, I'm not making an assumption that people find this interesting, but I'm thinking if I find this interesting, I hope that there's at least like 5 other people out there somewhere that might find this content, that they also find it interesting, and that I can have a conversation with this about. And I was making these videos specifically because I didn't have the opportunity to talk about these sort of things that I want to talk about, like with my coworkers or with what I was doing at a particular time. I was looking for a way to have a discussion that wasn't on a Gaijin Pop forum or wasn't on one of these kind of Reddit type blogs or whatever, where I could kind of have the conversation that I wanted to have and talk about the topics that I wanted to talk about. And I assumed if it's interesting to me, then I'm hoping it's going to be interesting to someone else. I'll find out how much people, how many people like me are out there. And I knew that I didn't expect that there would be many. And there were a few, and we had good discussions, and my channel grew. So, I never really had a doubt about, am I being relevant? I mean, this is arrogant, but if I think what I'm doing myself is interesting to me, that's good enough for me.
Right. So the same thing with me. Well, actually, for me, my initial videos were responses to other people. They were basically direct, almost like telephone messages. Like, okay, you made a video, and I want to tell you what I think about your opinion, and I want to give you my opinion.
Yeah.
So it was more like a communication thing.
But that's a very good point. And this is where all my original videos were in Japanese, because I was looking for ways to create dialogue with Japanese, and that's why I would make, and you did this as well, we'd do question videos.
Japanese videos at the beginning.
Which I probably do less now. I mean, we've both been here a long time, and I guess if we're talking to an international audience, it's more natural we would do less questions and more. If we were doing this in Japanese, we would probably phrase what we're discussing more in terms of questions than in teaching, probably because we're doing it in English. And we're used to dealing with foreigners who have been here for not as long, or who are from watching outside of Japan. I think we tend to talk a little bit more at. But it's for the discussion.
Good point. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
When I do a video in Japanese, I often open up the possibility that my opinion, could be just my opinion, and maybe someone else is having a completely different experience.
Yeah.
That door is that door is always open a bit, but it's really open. I do it in Japanese.
Yeah. But,
Right? Kind of thing all the time.
but you're pretty good at getting to points and topics that and approaching them in ways that really draws people in more than me. You know, I like to focus maybe on smaller sort of niches. But yeah, I mean, the fact is the proof's in the pudding from what you've done and the size of your channel and your subscribers and everything. That kind of validated the topics and the videos that you're making for me as well. And the fact was, I never aspired to be a 50 million subscriber channel. I only ever aspired to be a couple of hundred people and to have very much like this, just to have
100. All I cared about when I first had 100, like, oh, I love these people. They're my, they're my crew.
Yeah.
Most of them are all gone now.
No, it's having those 100 live viewers or commenters or whatever that are just enough that you have that it's not overwhelming and that you can have a good discussion and exchange. That's what. So for me, yeah, I mean, it proves
I don't think you have to be arrogant to talk about it. Now, what you just said though is a lot about. This is the way I teach other teachers, because a lot of my students are actually teachers, so they ask me about material, and I always say, pick something you are interested in, because that enthusiasm that you have for that subject will
exactly.
Contagious. Will be you will utsuru ne, to say utsuru kara. They will catch on. They will catch that fever that you have.
No, in case in point, the start of the video, I was very excited about the Taiwan subject, and I really didn't give a shit about the subscriber glitch.
I don't care about the subscriber glitch either, but I would just care that I was wrong. Like, whoa, I got to admit. I think it's important to admit when you're wrong. So.
Yeah. That probably came through in my delivery as well. Probably what excites me isn't what excites most people, but there again, I still think there is something to be said for being persuaded that something is interesting that you didn't know was interesting before by someone who's into it.
Well, because they're enthusiastic about it.
Well, that's right. So exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
The problem with that is that sometimes some people think everyone else is going to be interested automatically in something that they're really interested in.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean...
And then uncomfortable. Like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and the biggest mistake that new vloggers make is they make content for what they assume people want to hear rather than what they want to make. And that's a quick word to a dead end. It's kind of, I think it has to be. If you find it, it's, 7 billion people. If you make something that, and just everyone's got internet now. Mm. So if you make something that you find interesting, I mean, unless you are that 1 in 7 billion freak, you're going to get a few people watching at least.
Yeah. So for the people who are asking about that, don't worry so much. Just leave your opinion and try to present it the best way you can.
Do what comes natural.
And watch your video back to yourself and see if you're happy with it, with the way you presented yourself. The other problem is that, let's back up for a minute, but there was something about Justin Bieber about 3 years ago. Someone pointed out that to become a professional musician, that you needed 10,000 hours of stage time to actually become a good performer.
Yeah.
And with the young people of today, the people like Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, that they don't have that stage time. They're pushed out there too early, and they're not really ready.
Well, Bieber was discovered on the internet, as I recall.
And they're not ready, so they suck basically. I mean, their stage shows are not as good as for example, Bruce Springsteen, who's done a billion shows, or Michael Jackson, who's done a billion shows, has been on stage for literally tens of thousands of hours, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with YouTubing. The more you do this, the more natural and relaxed you feel, and it doesn't bother you. I'm talking to in a room, and your wife and my wife both think the same thing, right? Like, feel weird to be sitting in a room talking to a camera.
Borderline should be institutionalized. Yes.
Yeah, but you do this for a while, and you don't feel weird anymore. And how about you? You can walk down the street doing a vlog, right?
I get a little bit self-conscious about that.
A little bit, but you can do it.
I tell myself, I get the selfie stick, I point at myself, I say, I am a foreign tourist. I'm a foreign tourist, it doesn't matter, and then I do it. Okay. I'm a little bit self-conscious. I'm self-conscious about how I look to the people around.
Well, if I were stuck in a small space like an elevator, I would feel self-conscious, because these people are going to be stuck with me, so I'd feel like I'm imposing on them. But if I'm walking around the city, I can do a vlog for an hour, no problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me at all. So the same thing will happen to you if you're a vlogger. The more
Yeah.
videos you make, the better you get. And you
That is
start
true.
realizing what your problems are, what your weaknesses are.
Oh, that's the other thing. Watch your own videos and then watch people who you respect and who you like, and figure out what are they doing that you should be borrowing, and what what's working, what isn't working.
And you'll see how the lighting's important. There was one guy who wanted to interview me, and I watched the video, and his lights sucked. So I refused. I didn't want to be on that channel.
Yeah, nowadays, it's pretty unforgivable now, especially given that the cameras are so good. Yeah, you can't be having grainy videos.
Yeah, or bad lighting. I mean, there's some basic stuff that you'll figure out. Oh, by the way, someone I forgot to bring this up to you, but someone was critical of your sound last week.
Critical of my sound. Well, I was also just my voice was fucked up. So that, and it still is, as people, I'm sure, as you can hear today.
Yeah, it's a little bit. But are you using that earplug? Is that
your mic? I'm using the Samsung mic that I always use. The same setup. I haven't changed it.
Oh, so that thing on your ear, that's not the mic right now that you're using?
No, it's over here behind the camera.
Yeah, you're using the same thing I'm using, the Samsung mic right there.
That's right, that one.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, no problem. Well, there's nothing much to say about that, but we had some criticism. I listened back to it. It didn't seem that bad. But anyway, now we're getting into unrelated stuff. So yeah, if you want to make your videos, make your videos. But the other thing is you've got to be consistent, and you have to give it some time. Some people expect overnight, and it just doesn't happen.
No.
And it's harder and harder now than it's ever been. So
yeah, just patience. It does build up. That's the thing. If you're posting once a week or once every 2 weeks, but it's regular and people see that, they'll subscribe.
And even though we don't have the video response option anymore, you can still make video responses to other people. And if you're lucky, they might watch them, and they might like them, and they might tweet them out. And that's how you get the more views, right?
That is true. That is true. Especially if you mention people or you talk about people. People like to hear themselves being talked about or whatever as well. You'll watch a video. If someone posted a video response to Gimmeabreakman, I think you're wrong. And Victor, and it's less than, if it's a reasonable length, you're probably going to watch it, right? You find out.
Yeah, if it's too long and it's just critical, then I don't give a shit. I'll just, if it doesn't seem to make any sense, or it's just like someone did a video about me saying I was a big liar, and I was fooling everybody into thinking Japan is a great place, and I never criticized Japan, and it wasn't true at all. So there wasn't any point. Because I do criticize Japan. I say negative things about Japan all the time. In fact, Japanese people think I'm a hater. So I mean, it was just wrong. So there's no point really making a video validating that.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I just left it alone.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt my feelings. After a while. Yeah, I don't really get bothered anymore. Things did bother me a long time ago, but I've been at this for over 10 years now. So.
Long time.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
like Molly, no, I suck. But as you can hear, Hiko's about to die.
And it's past midnight, so I believe I'm about to turn into a gremlin.
Yeah, so we better let this go. But we'll be back next week. Actually, next Saturday night, Hiko's got a special event that he's not allowed to talk about.
Yes.
So you may not be here.
Yeah, in fact, actually, I've got two things on next Saturday. That just reminded me of that.
People are trying to figure out who I was talking about. It wasn't Ryan Boundless, and it wasn't Japan Channel. No. I don't interact with those guys very much. I don't find them very interesting.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't watch unless someone forces me, like, please watch this video and please respond. But it's been a while since that's happened. Thank God. But anyway, all right, I'll let you go. But
stop with the butter trolling.
Tell me what's going to happen next week, and we'll see.
Yeah, let's reach out. Let's get a guest next week. We haven't had a guest for a while.
Well, I mean, if you're not gonna make that special event, then
oh shit, that's right. I won't be here. I'll probably be back if it's at this time.
Okay.
But
you might want to. You might
play that by you.
All right.
True. Okay, I'll see you later, man.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Oh.
Good night. Peace out.